If we take the crisis in Syria and its fallout within Syria and in the neighbourhood and now further afield, UNDP has been for close to 3 years now very engaged in trying to develop more sustainable solutions to the crisis.
In November 2015, UNDP convened high-level government officials, private sector and civil society in Amman at the Resilience Development Forum and agreed that a fundamental change was needed in the way the world responds to the Syria crisis.
The Resilience Development Forum signals a new era of cooperation and global partnership in support of resilience for the people of Syria and for the countries hosting them.
This growing consensus reflects 4 points of agreement. First, only a political solution can bring an end to the Syria crisis. But support is needed now for the most affected people inside Syria and in neighboring countries. That includes refugees and their host communities. Second, refugees in neighboring countries need more than food and shelter. They need to work and have both dignity and hope in the future. The same goes for the people generously hosting refugees, despite their own challenges. Third, there's a need for an improved international and collective response to the Syria crisis that better integrates humanitarian and development approaches. A response that focuses on supporting host countries' national leadership and capacity as the best way to secure a sustainable solution to the refugee situation. And finally, that if we don't act now to help minimize the scope of this crisis, its impacts stand a real chance of spreading far and wide in a world already facing so many challenges.
Time and again across the Arab states region, we have seen the legacy of conflict reflected in poverty, in rollbacks in education and in health, in diminished futures for women and youth, and in long-lasting patterns of instability. What we've learned is that in times of crisis, it is never too early to pave the way for recovery. The model of relief now, development later does not work. If you wait until full peace and stability sets in, you might wait too long. We have to take measures now to ensure that a sustainable recovery will be possible.
The Regional Refugee and Resilience Plan, also called 3RP, is co-managed by the United Nations Development Programme and the United Nations High Commission for Refugees. It offers an important mechanism to anchor and promote the resilience-based response in the countries neighbouring Syria. For 2016, the total amount dedicated to resilience in the 3RP appeal has gone from 29% to 38% and stands at $1.7 billion. This represents a significant effort to better integrate and balance addressing humanitarian needs with longer-term priorities, such as livelihoods, infrastructure, access to basic social services, and social stability and peace. In Syria, the United Nations Humanitarian Appeal with its section on livelihoods and the new 2-year UN Strategic Framework for Syria with its emphasis on resilience are the basis of strengthening our response to those in Syria itself. Although the Regional Refugee and Resilience Plan and the Syria Humanitarian Plan have been underfunded to date, UNDP has still achieved very important results for the communities we serve. In Syria alone, UNDP has touched the lives of 4.4 million people by helping to clear rubble, repair infrastructure, revive businesses, and create jobs. In neighboring countries, we have helped upgrade infrastructure and basic services so that nearly 2 million people can be in school and have access to healthcare, clean water, and other basics for human dignity. UNDP has also rolled out special projects to help over 200,000 refugees and host communities build social peace through sports or sharing space in places like libraries. We are rehabilitating a major landfill that is now overstretched so that 2.1 million people in Jordan, locals and refugees alike, can address the environmental and health damages of an overburdened waste management system. And we have helped 3,000 Syrian refugee women in Iraq who are survivors of sexual and other forms of gender-based violence to access legal aid, to claim their rights and regain their dignity. But much more is needed.
At UNDP, we have worked closely with partners to achieve important results for millions of people suffering from this crisis in Syria and neighboring countries. But we all know that there is much more to be done. And the longer we wait to help, the more difficult and also expensive it will be. We need to act now.
We hope that more can be done with support from partners in the future, as donors are challenged to pledge for a response that is able to address the most pressing crisis of our time. Now is the time to consolidate this momentum and pave the way to make sure that when peace is achieved, it can be sustained.